For real, you want to know what I'm really like peeved about right now?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I said, you want to know what I'm really peeved about right now?
What?
My bills ain't coming yet. All right.
The
I'm
what?
waiting for my bills. November water bill and November energy bill or electric bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, all right, come on, man. Like, y'all gotta tell me how much I owe because I'm gonna spend this money, and I'm not trying to spend this money. You know when the
Look,
money just stay in your account too long,
no,
you're like,
nigga, it's like no, it's like it don't stay in your account too long. It goes other places, and you ain't got enough
right.
to cover the other shit. That's what
And
it
it'd be
is,
some
nigga.
dumb shit too. Like, I mean, I could buy this bottle of
Look,
whiskey. It's only $20.
when it's in my account, you can't tell me it ain't my money.
Right, man.
Look,
It'd be
I
$20
realize.
here, $40
Look,
there. It'd be,
I realized a long time ago I'm just a
bruh.
middleman. I'm just a middleman between my paycheck and my bills.
Hey, that's
A
what it
league
is
by
right
law
now.
has got to touch my account before they get it from me. You
Scheffler.
feel me?
I'm a bookie. That's
No,
it.
hundred
I'm a
percent,
bookie.
100%, bro.
Man, this shit is just so stupid,
Why
man.
did
So
this
I'm
nigga
like,
text? Why
hurry
did this
up.
nigga text? But
I don't know.
how,
Goodness.
Sway? How?
I,
How? We moved it to Thursday night because of you, nigga.
for you.
We literally moved it for you.
He said I'm a bit tied up. I was like, I bet you were. Bet
Yeah.
you were tied up. Oh,
Oh,
nasty
I'm getting
ass.
tired of this nigga, man. Oh, Lou being Lou too much, man. They gonna jump on here and clean his ears while we talk. Just like, yeah, shit, bro.
All right, damn man, you only getting back to the crib now?
Who you just texted that?
Man, all right. You say you gonna be ready in like 5 minutes.
Who you
All
talking
right,
to?
all right, man. Who else do you think I'm talking to?
I can't hear him. Where's he at?
No, I got him on the headset.
Oh,
He said he coming. He said he coming. All right, all right, man.
this nigga, man.
Oh
Told us he was
man.
going to get a drink at 8 o'clock. Like, come on, psych. You can't be this, Jack. You really can't.
Look, this is the one thing I have to look forward to during my week.
Bro, you know how much niggatry be out of my life till I call this nigga Jack? Like, niggatry be out of all views of my life until we on this pod. And I'm talking. All right. This is the thing.
Mm,
Um, I'm with you in terms of we gotta structure this thing.
mm-hmm.
Like, you
Cause
know,
right now, hey, there he is, beautiful
Yo,
mountain baby boy.
y'all hear me?
Yo,
welcome here, Nathan.
with with the hard slurp.
Exactly. All right. So I'm saying we really gotta structure this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like from when we come in, we gotta have a list of topics. But I think the order of which we introduce them should be based upon individually. So you know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, Walt, you bring in social dilemma, right? In terms of that being something you want to discuss, and then I think we should all have something we want to talk about that we can have a piece of something that we all watch or listen to or read per week. Because I think a lot of times we discuss things that are headlines, and you can be on MSNBC, you can be on Fox News, and you could be getting those bits of information from anywhere. So what I'm saying is, like, we need something that's like a concrete piece of subject matter per week. You know,
Specifics.
it's like that time when I brought in the simp definition,
Mm.
and it was
Yeah,
on
because
that.
it was.
It was that little Instagram post, and we was like, hold on, we broke it down. Like, that's what
Yeah.
I mean. Something we can all tangibly look at, and it can be entertainment
Yeah.
based. But I think each of us need to bring one of those things a week. That's what I'm saying. So you can pick what realm you want to bring something from and post it into the topics thing. And that way, if we each just put one thing in there, I would like to think we can get it done. You know, whether it be a 1.5 hour film, 15-minute video on YouTube, or a 20-minute read in the article. I just think that to a degree, we should be able to get that done if we all put something in there like by Friday night. Let's have a set time in which we have to introduce those things depending on what they are. Like if it's a 2-minute video you want to discuss that's on IG or YouTube, you could put that in there, right? You could put that in there the day of. And we can just watch that, you know. But that's one thing you got to do. Like you got to put the amount of time the video is or how long it took you to read it. So that way we know. You know, we don't got to click on the link. We could just sort of like if I read something, I'm like, okay, it's me about 20 minutes to read this joint. And I send the article in there, but like, it's about a 20-minute read. And I know some of the articles and news papers already do that. They let you know how long it's going to take to read something, but you can't see that when you put a link into a message description. Just you know what I'm saying? And then like when you read it, maybe there's a point that you want to bring it to across from the article. Then we just sort of put, like I said, we just got to do that in the group chat a little bit more. So a little bit more activity in the group chat before we get to here. I think it's going to be important. Like Walt, you tried to get it going this week. And I did watch Social Dilemma. So did you, Lou?
Nah, I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't watched nothing all week.
Okay. So basically, I
heard
was
about
like,
it, and I could probably speak to it some.
well, yeah, I mean, we all kind of understand a little bit of what it was talking about. I just think for me, it was the depth to which we're gone. Like it's over. That's what I took from it. It's a wrap. But yeah, we can start off. What you want to talk about?
There's any kind of redemption?
So I mean, what you want to start off? I just brought to the attention of Walt the fact that Lil Wayne just jumped out there as George Trump with the thumbs up photo.
That was random as shit.
Thumbs up armor. And it's a weak move from Weezy, because at least Ye had the audacity to be a clown for a whole year, a couple years out here.
Huh?
You gonna jump out here a week, 3-4 days before the joint even pop off? Like you ain't even really about that life, nigga. Get the fuck out of here.
No, you're not. Exactly.
Lil Wayne probably ain't never voted in his goddamn life.
You know he has.
He never will.
And that's why I be so mad when people be talking about these niggas. I'm like, first of all, 50 Cent probably never voted. Ice Cube probably never voted. Like
Offset just said he ain't never voted.
I can see Ice Cube voting.
I can see Ice Cube voting too, but also I can see Ice Cube not voting. It's very easy for me to see Ice Cube not voting. And then
right down
there's also who else? I just saw somebody voted. Kendrick Perkins, NBA analyst, a former player. So I just voted for the first time ever. Like he literally just did that today. So niggas don't vote. Like that's the thing. But to the point of Wayne, where I'm just like, first of all, he said he talked to Trump about the platinum plan. He said he's all good to go. I was like, okay, first of all, nigga, this must be how you sign Birdman's contract. He just told you some shit. He just told you some shit. You ain't look at the numbers or nothing, nigga. Honestly, did you call Ho to look over this contract? Because
I think the contract just says as long as I'm good and my family's good, like we won't be like it don't matter as long as I can get what I want when I want.
Now is that 3 Maybachs or 4?
He should have asked for it.
Because you know those niggas don't read.
Maybachs. Exactly. It should have been unlimited Maybachs, but he only wanted 2.
You know those niggas don't read. Yeah.
He only wanted 2. That's the
only wanted 2. And that's where he fucked up. Yeah. You always ask for 5 Maybachs. Sell 3, keep 2. One for your mama, one for you. Right. Everybody knows this.
Exactly.
If they put Maybachs in the contract, it must be 5 minimum.
Bruh, when you what? How old was he when he signed his contract? 12?
Yeah.
He could barely read then.
And he had to lean in him at the time as well. So like I said, we got to take this with a grain of salt. This is a clear heavy drug user. I noticed this, bro. There's a trend between people who people who be on prescription drugs and motherfuckers who like Trump. Like there's a true correlation here. Like I've noticed it like a lot in personal meetings and online. Like it's like this is a perfect stew.
Let's be honest too, like jokes aside, there are a lot of Trump voters who live in rural areas, like parts of West Virginia, where the heroin and opioid epidemic is very serious. So yeah, jokes aside, yeah, there are a lot of heavy drug users who are supporters of Trump because the industries that they're used to working in have gone away, like coal miners. So yeah, I mean that's a joke, but it's really not a joke. Like,
and
that is some real shit you just said.
No, it is, and I don't want to. We don't got to talk too long about Wayne, but I kind of want to, and we can sort of lead into the social dilemma here because I think Trump is a dopamine hit for them. If you get what I'm saying, Walt.
No, like I get what you're saying, but it's like how would that even like translate? Like, yeah, let's make America great again. Like, yes, let's make America great again.
That's it. That's all it is, because that's what we just learned from Social Dilemma. That's all it is.
Yeah,
that's all social media is. And so, like that one guy in the doc with the white guy with dreads, of course, and him when he was talking and he was saying because it's the business model, right? That's the thing that caused all this problem. The old business model was we make a car, we sell you the car. Now the business model is we make an app, we get people onto the app, and then we sell those people to advertisers.
Yeah.
That's the new business model that takes place in Silicon Valley. So we are the product, essentially. And they did say that, the one quote that was in there, I forget the dude's name, but he said the only two people who could say that their number one customers or users are like illegal drug buyers and software. Where he's basically like the users are the product, and he's right. And so the apps are designed to get users at accumulative rates at a consistent basis and to keep engagement and keep your eyes focused in on these apps as much as possible to no matter how detrimental it is, it's predicated on the clicks and you staying engaged on shit. So it's going to feel the sensationalism of just human nature to a degree, right? So that's why I say he's a dopamine hit to them, because just that sentence, we're going to make it great again, to a lot of people, they believe that this country deteriorated under Obama. Not because it really happened, but because they were, using drugs and listening to Fox News. So, like, I don't know. What I'm trying to basically say is, like, I think that what I took from the social dilemma is the dilemma is we too late. Like, what did you take from it, Walt? Because you watched it, so I'm just like,
honestly, like I didn't take the fact that we're too late. It's because everything grows and changes, and when it was first introduced, like we were saying before, chat rooms and AIM and all that, good stuff, and then slow evolution of MySpace, Facebook, and then wherever we are now, eventually with it. Each iteration, there's a lot of bad has been injected into it, and we've seen like, I mean, I remember when Twitter's bad now, but Twitter what used to be way more reckless, and like people have calmed down over a bit. Twitter has cleaned up their usage policies, over the years, and now we're just seeing the effects it has on society at large. Before it was like, all right, well, you can't say that because people are just.
I gotta push back on that point a little bit, Walt. Because the point that I took from this documentary was that Twitter didn't so much clean it up. It just discerned that you didn't want to see certain things and stopped showing them to you. You know what I mean?
Echo chamber. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, but that's what I took from this, where it's like there really isn't something that came through and sweeped it and cleaned it all up. It's modified itself so that it no longer makes you want to leave it. So if you were saying, oh, this is kind of reckless out here, and now you're more of a tempered, more mild-mannered public discourse that we have now, where people can't be as reckless with what they say, it's now using those different, like, and this is one thing I told you guys, this happened to me. I made a trip to the other side of the algorithm for a couple of days. And that was because the Dave Chappelle 846 dropped. He did the Candace Owens bit. And then I watched a couple reactions to the special, and there were some black conservatives who watched it because they like Candace Owens. And, you know, they're so then YouTube took that and started feeding me all of the other side of the algorithm. And it also happened a little bit on Instagram. And basically, I'm just saying, like if I wasn't already, if I wasn't who I am, if I was someone of
a persuasive nature.
Yeah, if I could be more, if I was someone, I would like to think I'm someone who would never join a cult, but I understand that there are people who cults work, like they join cults. So for me, I think of like, I could see how it happened to Wayne. Lil Wayne.
I think so. I don't think you just got to check.
No. He's been stimulated to believe that Trump is good. His algorithm has fed him that. And people like always say, because they always say, remember the point in the doc where he's like, you're sitting there like, how can these people believe this shit? Don't they have all this information? And he's like, they don't have that information that you have. He's like, their side of what they see is completely different on their feeds. Like, I think we underestimate how different it truly is. Like, I think that we see, like, you know what I'm saying? I think that there's certain moments where, like, I think they're, and they highlighted this a little bit, but we'll see a picture of a girl that we all knew from high school posted. If you've been on her feed more often because maybe you had a crush on her back in high school, when you scroll past her pictures, Instagram may have a filter for you, bro, to make her look more appealing to you. But I see a basic photo because that's what she posted. But they are able to make these alterations whenever they want, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to grab Lewis's phone to see what her photo looks like on his Instagram account. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So that's what I was realizing, where it's like, so that's what I was saying when you brought the point up about the Twitter, and it used to be way worse on there. I agree overall, you know, people were just kind of throwing shit from the hip. But in terms of, I'm not saying that that's gone away. I just think it's been they've completed your echo chambers better on there now. So it's like they've just modified it so you think it's better. It isn't really better, but you think it's better. So therefore you say to yourself, oh, Twitter's not as bad as it used to be. That's what I took from the doc.
I can understand that, but just like research changes, and instead of, you know, like the way research changes is the way that people interact on social media change. So while we realize, like, yeah, you know, this echo chamber exists, when we were growing up, it didn't exist in this capacity. But when a child is on it, you know, they're not even seeing that there's an echo chamber or that there's a core amount of things that they are being fed. And then we can interject into the younger generations so that, you know, they can be more savvy with this. That's where I saw, like, all right, there's a problem. People are trying to fix it with their own kids, you know, like at the end of it, you know, everybody there was like, I deleted this, I deleted that, I'll have my kids on this, I'll have my kids on that. And so that's where I saw the, you know, the definite change. Like, all right, we might be going backwards in a sense where, like, you can only, you know, be on the computer between, you know, 8 or like 4 and 8, you know, like that's it. You know, so as opposed to this unlimited access to social media.
This is the thing. I could agree with you if I felt that would be the majority of people who use these apps in their I guess you could say behavior towards them going forward. That cognizance and that awareness, right? So what I'm looking at is the apps will never program these things because their business models don't dictate that they control the market. They dictate that they merely are they're working towards control, but right now it is merely a consumption of data. And as the data comes in, they figure out new ways to manipulate us through that data. That becomes a more significant and specific process to each individual, and better. It's getting better as it goes, right? So if we as a society collectively, the majority say, yo, I'm only on IG 2 hours a day, then the algorithm would adjust the data and our consumption rates would fit that mode if it was the majority of how people operate on these apps. But because the majority of people who operate on these apps are just on them and they're subject to a full manipulation of them, whether it be when you get on there, I don't like the ones where I get on it and I'm scrolling and it's been like 25 minutes and I didn't even clock it. That's the ones where I hate
social media apps.
Yeah, but that's the dopamine hit. You know, they were saying that's your dopamine hit. That's your roller coaster. Your little bit of, and I think one of the most prevalent times when we felt that shit was right after George Floyd got killed. The shit was going crazy in the streets.
The catharsis, you know.
Looking at your social media was like, I'll never forget that. Looking at it social media, like for that whole week was just whoosh. The police precinct was on fire. It was riots here. It was this. The cops was running niggas over New York. Like it was, shit was just whoosh, 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 right? And my lens of that was of the, I guess you could say the proletariat, right? And some people got the establishment side of those videos. Like, look at these poor officers having to defend their vehicle from these bodies hitting it. by hitting the gas even harder on the cars. So it's just like, you know, but I don't know, man. I feel like this is why I really truly feel it though, because when I saw this, right, you know what, I finished and I said to myself, that's why we needed Andrew Yang.
Elaborate, please.
Yeah, in what sense?
The world is already so far past how we operate as a society in this country.
Yeah.
Like it's so far past. People, I don't even think we understand, because we're America and we just like looking in the mirror all day.
We've jerked ourselves off enough.
We literally have jerked ourselves off into like euphoric state of just adulation for no fucking reason. And when you go and you understand to the scale to which, first and foremost, these apps have influenced the world. Like when they said that Mark Zuckerberg had a dial where they had the dial where they could say, we want more users in Singapore this week. So we want more people to get on Facebook in Singapore, and Mark could say, turn it up in Singapore, and they would get more users. That's how sophisticated and precise this algorithm has become. Where he can pick a place. And the thing they did in Myanmar, where they completely dissented and forced over 700,000 Muslims out of the country, like because they had social media. And so when people in Myanmar said they're getting the internet, it meant they're getting Facebook. That's what the phones would. They would buy the phone, they would put the Facebook on the phone, and then this bifurcation of information that came in grew them into such a furious hatred for Muslims because of the fear mongering of what's going on social media.
Yeah,
it literally caused them to almost genocide this whole group of people, and China's doing it right now.
Yeah,
like
with the Uyghurs.
So yeah, so to me, it's like if Mark knows they can do that. He said we've had people who come in and say, "Yo, can you destabilize Kenya?" They've gotten money to destabilize regions. And it's always because he said, look, Russia didn't hack Facebook. Russia used Facebook business model to do what they did.
Right.
It was all legal what they did. And so those points where it's like, this is just the business model that takes place. I say we needed Yang because Yang is the person who understands this world and talked about these things. He's the one who said we should have a fee for our data where we purposely choose if we want to turn off the collection of it or not on these apps. So if you say you want to keep your data turned on, then Instagram pays you for your data. Like if they want you to collect your data from you, they have to pay you for it. He's the one who was saying we need to implement these things because of the outpour of data. And he said, my friends in Silicon Valley. So I realized it's fucked because if they didn't put him in power, because they could have did that, they totally could have put Yang. They could have made him win this whole election.
You think Silicon Valley has that much power?
Yes. This is what I've discerned from this. They have that much power, bro. Trust me. It's like they said it in the top of the joint. He said, yo, I didn't think that it would be, you didn't think that there would be 20 white dudes. Like he said, you didn't think it would be what? I think he said 10, 15 white dudes in a room or in Silicon Valley deciding the outcome and future of all of mankind. And he's like, and that's because that's what this thing is, man. That's what that's what it's like. And it's because he said it, he downplayed it himself. One of the dudes at the end, he was like, so you're telling me this is the end of all mankind? So hold on. I'm online. They're watching me watch a video. They send another video, so I watch that video. How is that destroying anything? Then he was saying how he said our perception of AI is that it's going to come and these robots who should physically destroy us. He said, but that's not the perception. He had that chart where he said our presumption is that AI will advance to the point where it beats out our strengths as a society. But we haven't contended with the fact that it's already beating our weaknesses, like fear, like racism, sexism, xenophobia, homophobia. These are weaknesses of a society because they force you to marginalize other groups of people. The algorithms already it's kind of like the algorithms like, yo, it's really hard to make Joel buy Jordans. It's really easy to make Joel hate the police. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so, and it's because those are life or death situations. So it's the algorithm says go towards the thing that makes them attracted. So life or death situations, those draw us in the quickest, and also pump more of those things so they keep on the phone because it's sensationalism. So the algorithm isn't discerning that these are things that shouldn't be like Joel probably shouldn't see George Floyd's video 5 times in a row on his feed. Mental health wise, I shouldn't see that shit. But with the algorithm at play, it's all about me keeping on the phone. So I see Sean King posted, and I see DL Hughley posted, and I see I'm gonna go to the comments for Sean King. I'm gonna go to the That's all they want from me. That's all they want from you. They just want to know how to make you work. They want it. They want to get it to the point where they can have you open your feed, go down at 5 to 6 posts, and then you want to get a spray. And then you want to spray. That's how they want this. That's how perfected they want this system. And so it was, I don't know, like I said, it was terrifying because, like I said, if they all know this in Silicon Valley, because these hearings, these Senate committee hearings have been going on for like 4 or 5 years now, even before Trump took office. So, and Andrew Yang says that his friends in Silicon Valley were saying that we need a UBI. They understand all the difficulties. AI is about to kick all these people out of work forever. The COVID just exacerbated those symptoms of a lack of a third of technological revolution coming. So it's like all these things that Andrew was talking about just come full circle when I watch this joint. And I'm like, if those individuals in those positions of power in Silicon Valley didn't do what they need to do to put Andrew in the position that they should have put him in to cut them a fair deal for the future, because right now I just see like it's just crazy how much money they're getting from selling us, how much influence they have from selling us, who has access to those, who has access to people. Like they'll like, if you have enough money and you're like a right-wing conspiracy group and you're pushing the right amount of funds through Facebook legally, they don't give a fuck if you sending all them dumbass videos to people.
Yeah, but that's why I think that they don't have that much power, because if they don't care, then why not just take the power? You know,
that's kind of my thing with this. Like, speaking as somebody who hasn't seen The Social Dilemma, but has been reading and listening to, podcasts, videos, all that stuff about how social media affects the way we work as a society right now. Like, I don't even feel like I need to see The Social Dilemma, but as somebody who grew up on social media, like the rest of us, like, we remember when Facebook first came out. Um, I'm completely convinced, and I know that each one of us lives in or has the potential to live in our own reality where what may be true for one person isn't true for another. But at the same time, I'm just like, I just don't like to give social media networks like that much power. Like, after knowing that like Facebook manipulates your timeline to make you feel a certain type of way by showing you this type of story versus this type of story, I'm just like, okay, I'd like to think I'm self-aware enough to know that, like, okay, I just need to step back from this and not give 2 hours of my life mindlessly to Facebook or Instagram. Because yeah, I just know the detrimental effects it has. Like, I'm not so nihilistic to where I'm like, yeah, we're probably 10 plus years deep into this whole network social media revolution, but I just knowing that and knowing, like, realizing what effects it's had on me personally and my psyche, I'm just like, yeah, it's like, it's just, we all just kind of need to dial back a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, social media. They covered that in the doc too. They said we're the generation who can remember what the Matrix is and look back and tell you.
Yeah.
The other generation is not
these
that.
Kids now, I don't know. They've been plugged in since birth.
They've been plugged in since middle school. They said that. And so, dude, the percentage, right, the suicide rates for teenage girls between 10 to 15 has grown since 2011, 138%. That's a lot. And this was the least suicidal demographic ever in the country.
Yeah.
And they rose by, and I think it was 62% rate for girls 16 to 20. And this was based on the beauty standards and the apps and, all the face modification stuff. So when I say, like, the bifurcation in the political process is being controlled through the algorithm. The way you feel about your self-esteem is being controlled through the algorithm. Right now, your perception of your safety and your health because of the virus is being controlled through the algorithm.
Yep.
I think the illusion is that we give social media too much power, where I'm saying they've already have it. The individual can always be responsible for how much they utilize these tools, but the responsibility and how these tools influence our lives are already past us.
Yeah.
I can't control the fact that Dylan Roof's going to get radicalized and go into a church.
Yeah.
Because he's been on YouTube going down the rabbit hole of his algorithm. And it's got him so fringed that he thinks he needs to go execute some innocent black folks. That is affecting me, regardless of whether or not I have social media. I don't know if any of those 9 people who died even had Facebook. But my point is that the fact that what I'm denoting is, like, we as individuals at our certain, I don't want to say elk, I never want to seem like we're superior to people, but some dumbass niggas out here. So what I'm saying is, like, people with the ability to think, really think, because y'all know what I'm talking about. There's some niggas out here who can't really think, bro. They have, do's and don'ts, and they got a list of shit that they do and don't every day. But they not sitting down taking time to really think about their life or the decisions they make. So that's the people I'm talking about right now. What I'm saying is they already got these motherfuckers locked in to the algorithm. Like, so everybody ain't everyone is not a 10-digit safe, bro. Some niggas, the algorithm, all it needed was that little, that stethoscope the doctor got and a little joint. Back in the day, we used to put this shit up to your ear next to the same nigga to hear the clicks. Some people just need an ear to the safe to put the clicks. And some people need that nigga from the movie to break in with the glasses on and go to the network room and plug into the back system to hack into the joint. That's how sophisticated some people the algorithm has for some people. But my point in the social dilemma, remember the part where the kid told his mom, I don't need his phone for a week, right? And he put the joint in and he had it on the kitchen counter. Now, remember, they were like, yo, how we going to get him back on his phone? He's like, okay, hit him with a notification that his ex-girl dating somebody new, right? First of all, I never thought about that before. The fact that those notifications can come to you when they want them to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your girl could have updated that shit a week ago. And they just hit you with the notification.
Have you seen Brittany recently?
Yeah.
She's just posting recently for the first time in a while.
And I had I had noticed that before, but I just thought it was my phone fucking up. Look at this joint updating these late ass notifications. This joint from 2 days ago. I just got it this morning. But I thought it was my shit but I didn't know it was them. You know, I just thought it was a technical glitch, but nah, it's them. So basically what I'm saying is like, and he couldn't do it. And remember, they was like, yo, okay. But as soon as he went downstairs to get something out the fridge and his phone was on the counter, that's when they sent the message.
Yeah.
So he could see it come onto his phone and go see it on the screen and look at the drink. Like that's where I'm like, hold on, son. Like, they knew this nigga was in the kitchen next to his phone. Like,
there was a couple years ago, there was a story about all these haptic sensors going off in people's phones. Like, you know, you just be walking and all of a sudden you feel a buzz, you check your phone, nothing's there. You know, and then but it was found out that I want to say it was Apple and Sam, like it was basically every major, you know, phone company where it was just a signal like, all right, vibrate.
Right.
Like, just so that you get used to picking up your phone.
Yeah.
So I definitely know, like, I believe that with Siri and Google and whatever, you know, assistant AIs there, like they're constantly listening, so it wouldn't be you know, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? You know, unsuspicious. Yeah.
No, 100%.
Like,
but it's like basically,
yeah.
But that's what I was saying. Like, none of the decisions are yours on these things. So, and that was the point. And the extra little thing that drove it home was when the girl tagged them in the photo, right? And they talked about why they made tagging. And he was like, instantly, because as soon as somebody tag you in the photo, you instantly check that joint.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's
whether
like
for good or for bad.
Exactly. That's an instant click and open, right? Oh, someone tagged me in something? Boom, you go right to it right away, right?
Right.
So the ability to tag someone, they said that's their most powerful weapon. So, you know, to be able to control someone tagging another person is, of course, the algorithm's ultimate goal. So, but then he had the point where he said, and remember he wrote the comment to her. He said, one of us looks good in these photos. And then they said, hit him with the Becca is typing the ... So he stays and waits for her message so we don't lose him. And I was like, yo, son. But that's the brilliance of it, man, because it's like, I'm 30 years old. They have over 100 years of psychological research at their advantage, and 50 billion and like billions of dollars worth of computer and tech just for me, so they can make sure that they keep my money. Like,
hey, well, fuck you. You can't have.
You know what? When I'm done with this, honestly, I'm willing to pay for this shit if y'all get the advertisers out of here.
Pay for Facebook?
Yeah.
Nah, not paying for none of that shit.
Honestly, I would pay for Instagram if it was like a
if it meant they get rid of the advertisers
service. Yeah.
I would definitely pay for that shit.
And if it was more curated.
Yeah. Instagram for sure. Facebook maybe not, but Instagram for sure.
Like, yeah, Facebook maybe not, but
you keep the free account.
Like,
it just
means
like
a smooth $100 a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm paying for you to not manipulate me with the algorithm, I'll pay for that. Like, you let me set my feed.
But doesn't the fact that you know you're being manipulated just make you just
it makes it a choice
use it less?
Right now,
you
it's
know what I'm saying? Like I know how Instagram be trying to get me. Like, I be Googling some shit on my computer, and then I get on Facebook, and then I see that same item I was just Googling.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know what you're trying to do. I'm gonna just log, or I'm gonna just log off, or I'm gonna just keep scrolling. So like, I'm not paying for them to get rid of advertising. I'm either gonna buy it because I was gonna buy it anyway because I was looking for it. I'm just not.
Nah, but I think
Sorry, I'm kind of drunk right now, so I'm not even 100% aware.
Nah, no, look. I don't even think
down to choice.
That's not the dude said that's not what they're doing though. He said that's not what Facebook sells. They don't sell you buying a lawnmower. He said they're selling you slowly having your behaviors changed and modified through these devices.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily because I see the layup ones too, where it's like I'm on Netflix looking at this one show with this one care person in it. So I go to IMDb, like, oh, was she in that one show too? I Google her, and then I go on Instagram and my Explorer feed, and then all of a sudden her IG pops up. I've done that too. You know what I'm saying? I've seen the algorithm work that way.
I feel like it's more like, all right, this is the data for all of North America between April 2020 and May 2020, like April 1st to April 30th. We have this information. All right, who highest bidder? Who wants it?
Pretty much how it is already.
Nah, they were saying that in the doc. He said we couldn't just sell data. He said we had to create the models that work with the data. So it's not that it's not
that it's a package.
It's not that it's a package, right? It's the fact of you're watching, they put 3 videos up, put an ad in between the one for sneakers. He watches the ad for sneakers. The fact that he watched the whole entire ad for sneakers, or maybe even tapped on it, and then that equates to their funds. So the TV before, you couldn't click on anything when the ad came on TV. It was just you seeing it. That's how advertising works. They just want you to see it. They can't do anything beyond that. They're getting to the point where they can do stuff beyond that. But the whole point of it is just to put it in front of you, and that is a success metric for them. Where do they place it? And their placement of these different items to eventually accumulate to you purchasing something, right? So for instance, they used to hit me with they always hit me with neck shit. I got a lot of neck issues. I'm always like rotating my neck because it stays tight. And so on Facebook, YouTube, because I've Googled ways of neck massage your neck and shit before.
Yeah, we always said next, like what comes next?
No, neck, my neck. So what they'll do is they'll advertise me all those little things that help with posture. The thing for the straps on the back. They got the shit that hang off the door. You put your neck in it. They got the thing that pumps the neck up, right? So all those things are dope, right? So one time I'm in the joint, I'm just like, yo, man, I need this shit for the crib, right? And I think I put it in a group, maybe the group on IG or something. So boom, 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 boom. A little bit down the line, Christmas comes, Van gets me the pillow for the night. That's just a long game on the sale.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I feel you. It's like, you're in need of something, and then they don't sell you, they sell you the options. They sell you the options. So you're like, oh, we've heard your ailments, you're looking for childcare? Like, all right, well, here's nannies, 1, 2, 3. Here's this, here's that. Oh, you're a little wealthy. What about an au pair? Have you thought about those services? Like, yeah.
But that's when it comes into play. It's fine when it's Susan just trying to get her nanny stars up, and so she can get more kids to watch, you get more money. But when it's a third party entity from a foreign country trying to make sure you vote for a demagogue, I think we got a problem.
Yeah.
And right now,
and they still at it too.
There's no discernment between those two things with them, though. That's what this thing was saying. It was like, look, man, whatever's gonna make you stay on your phone, nigga. If puppies do it, you get puppies. If trauma do it, you get trauma.
Do you think there needs to be I don't know, like a symbol, like an insignia, something to let us know that this is coming from outside of the country, or this is coming from this specific company? Like after every ad, it says, like 3 seconds, paid for by blank.
Because
isn't it already kind of like that? Like,
I mean,
don't they want you to know what company is coming from, so you
nah. I mean, for certain
patronize
things, like,
that company.
Well, everything made in China anyway. Something.
I mean, yeah, made in China. But if we get an ad and then at the end of it, it says, paid for by Russians for Trump, or it's some bullshit.
Would it be that blatant?
You working with Trump?
Hey, yo, we got it, son. What's up?
Well, look. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Like, because Coca-Cola wouldn't have a problem with that. Like, paid for by PepsiCo, and it would be one of their products.
Funny. You know what's really funny about that?
What's up?
If doesn't matter.
You don't think it matters?
Nah, because I realize, man, it's like if they said they put some conspiratorial fluff piece up there, right?
Mm.
You got a president who's gonna corroborate it. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna say, yo, that's crazy. That Hillary would never do that. He's gonna be like, I think she may have. Like, so to me, it's like when you have a whole news network organization that ain't gonna tell you what you're talking about is crazy, but instead placate to you being crazy in order to make you feel less crazy, then I say, like, then I like, for instance, like, how you gonna come for the Russians when Fox News doing shit? So it's kind of like, because they said propaganda, right? It's propaganda at the end of the day. And it's like, is it better if it's like, okay, we get rid of the Russian propaganda, but what about the joint funded by the Koch brothers? It's like,
hey, yeah, nah, like we put a tag on the masses too, like whatever company, corporation, whatever.
But they already have to do that. They already paid for by
for political ads, yeah, but not for anything else.
But but that's the point. Like, if it's not a political ad, for instance, if there's a dude who brings a whole conspiratorial video up about how Joe Biden was a part of Pizzagate with Obama, like, that's not a political ad, but it is.
Yeah.
It's not technically a political ad though, but it's going to make some people be like, I can't trust that about Joe Biden. And it's like, because like, yeah, what you supposed to say?
No, I was going to say that is most definitely a political ad to me, because it's just trying to influence you to think one way about a political candidate. Like,
yeah,
even if it's some conspiratorial bullshit like Pizzagate.
Yeah, but I don't think you can. But how do you track that though? If that's from some nigga in his basement in Kansas, that's like, how do I know? But I'm like, but that's a nigga in the basement in Kansas. He could be over here on a green card from Russia for all we know.
Yeah.
And like, it was that lady. Who was that lady that was in the Trump campaign, and she had turned out to be like a Russian agent or some shit?
Oh, yes. Like,
I know. That's the whole point. Like, for instance, like, people don't see, you see a lot of the developments going up at Woodbridge. A lot of these are Chinese owned companies.
Yeah.
That are buying out this property. That's a part of being a free market, nigga. Like, anybody can come and fuck up the shit. Like,
right.
And this is what I was getting. This is what I was thinking about. I was like, yo, man. I was like, all right, so right now we're in this process of so we got the election coming up, Did y'all vote?
Yeah.
You already voted? Well,
yeah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow.
Okay, you said that last week, so you probably gonna go. You probably going on election day.
This nigga ain't gonna vote. This nigga ain't gonna vote.
I'm pretty sure tomorrow is the last day to vote early.
I think so. I'm going. It was packed around. I'm going on the same day. It's gonna be the same weight anyway. But for me, I was like, okay. So, the big election next week. So next week's podcast we'll be talking about, obviously the election. So for me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right. So we're about to have this big election. We have all the what were we talking about just now?
I know you were changing the subject to
I'm still drunk, so I can't remember.
It is nigga. Oh, government.
Oh, free marketing shit. Yeah.
The fact that they want to have like Joe Biden in power, right? Because that's what the powers that be have. They gave us Joe Biden. It means they want to be able to do the same thing they always want to do. They just want to, get rid of the fear monger and hatred that Trump spreads and get back to making money from, exploiting people the good old fashioned way. So, with nice words and empty gestures.
Placation.
Exactly. They want to get back to, selling. They want to get back to putting the poison in the sugar. So that's what they want to get back to. Trump is poisoning you, but he's not putting no sugar on it, so it just feels worse. At least Democrats use Vaseline, or at least that's the presumption, right? So at the end of the day, that's what they want. They just want to get back to the old, same old shit, making money, fucking up shit. So, I realize this, man, we don't have like a fully vetted out system where we can control all this shit going on, because we're getting the national vote, cool, but I don't know how many of these motherfuckers gonna be there for the midterms,
Right?
Or even their local elections. How many people gonna stay tuned in for those? So we need to, obviously, if there's a change in the guard, that's good. I'm not tripping if Joe win, but it's also not. I'm not about to be celebrating and shit.
Same 4th of July.
So yeah, so I'm just saying, like, I just think we just need everything just need to be redone, bro.
Yeah, no, I mean you're absolutely right, and I've been thinking about this like a lot, because right now, like you said, it's the midterms that we really have to focus on, and it's the changing of the guard, and it's the country at whole that we need to start changing and fixing. Because if you look back when a lot of these senators took office, it's like 45, 50, some of them, damn near 60 years they've been in power, so that's back to what the 60s, the civil rights movement and what was happening then, and who was in leadership then. And granted, it's the 60s. I'm not saying that it was great, but the the sentiment was a whole hell of a lot better, you know. But I think like that's just what needs to happen. Like we just need this. The radical movement has started, and it's just only going to get so much more grandiose from here. Like we're gonna see 10 more, AOCs and 20 more, imams, come through.
I believe it.
So yeah,
I
like
don't.
but right
I
now,
see it.
So that's what I want. That's what I'm really trying to get at. Sustained attention
yes,
to a better future.
but and and I think I have the solution for that. All right, with just a simple app that lets you pick like, hey, where do you live? Who's running for office and what are their plans? Just a simple funnel.
Facebook's doing
Because
that
right
already.
now, it is Facebook. I mean, Facebook is doing that, but it's
Mm-hmm.
Facebook is doing that through the comments. Facebook is doing that through
I
the
think they've
video.
had the advertisements up in my joint where it's like, this election's coming up, primaries. This is who's running. Go to their website.
Yeah, but the
Mm.
is it what's being sold or how it's being sold to you? Because right now, like it's like buying a shirt from Gap and then buying a shirt from Banana Republic. Like
Okay, so we're talking
it's the
about
same.
making voting cool.
Exactly. That's the thing. It is changing the way we think about voting, and it's changing the appeal of voting.
I think that's where we mess up. Where we try to make it cool.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be cool in a sense, but it can be way more informed. Like the way the that dude did the rap about like, all right, this is how it's broken down. We think it's the
Yeah.
president. It's like it's not the that's
Oh,
cool,
yellow
but
pain.
it is yes. Yes, but the way it was concise. That's the really important part, because a lot of times you go to another website, if you try to go to C-SPAN, it's not concise and it seems like it's all over the place, so it's an automatic turn off. That's the beauty of social media right now. Everything is concise to your echo chamber.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
Yeah, so you go, if you just have it, hey, you know what, I type in my zip code, and I can see who's running. Boom, I tap on her, her thing. It says,
Profile.
what she says. It doesn't even like schools, taxes, like just very, very just simple terms of what it is they're running for. And you break it down. If it says, oh, she wants to increase taxes for restaurants and this like that, like, hey, if you go to a restaurant and you eating out, taxes might go up a little bit. All
I
right.
can't even fake with you, bro. Like they have that. I get text
Where is
messages
it?
burst about it's
Sure,
it's
that's the
and
thing.
it's based on like different organizations do it, right?
That's the
So for
thing.
instance, Innocence Project, they're very interested in getting fair district attorneys.
Mm.
So they'll send you an advert for a local DA race that may be happening
Mm-hmm.
in a different part of the country. But they'll send it to me to donate to try to get some funds up for the person.
Mm-hmm.
Sean King does this as well with grassroots law.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But this is the thing about it though. Now I gotta ask you how you feel about Sean King. Because
Why?
this is
What
the
you mean?
problem. Like he does this,
Mm.
what you're describing, which is
Mm.
keeping you informed about the local people running for elections,
Mm.
what their policies are, how they feel about police brutality, where you can go and check out everything, all grassroots law. There's different. It's not necessarily apps. It's actual sites or like what are they pages on these social media apps that do these things for you.
Yeah.
They keep you attentively there, but then it has to come into. But then I gotta ask you about your political leanings. So it's like, is there? So then we want to. So you want a bipartisan act, right? It's just going to blatantly tell you. It's going to give you the Dems.
Yeah.
It's going to give you the Republicans, right? It's
Because
going to
right
tell you
now,
all of it.
right, exactly. Everything just needs to be as sterile as possible. And on top of that, when you go to an app to go to a page, unless like you can get sidetracked easily. And so that's the barrier for entry. But if it's your own specific app, you don't have to worry about that because they're already on.
Yeah,
I feel like that creates people going deeper and further into their own echo chambers because, I mean, me personally, I feel like it really does not matter how much info you give me. I'm just stuck in my position on this specific topic. But with the app, like what you're talking about, that just yeah, that just lets people go deeper into their own political beliefs and echo chambers, which I feel like we're already pretty deep in that. Um, I would like to see how the other side is flipping the argument on one particular topic. You know what I'm saying?
that's why you got to follow people from the other side.
Yeah, you got to kind of stay in tune with what's going on the other side so you're not so
Shocked.
one-sided, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, that one woman, she said that in the Social Dilemma app. She said, "I follow people I disagree with, so I just know what they're talking about."
Got to.
But that's why when
That's
I work with the Trump supporters all this time, I don't be saying that. I be chilling.
right.
I'm like, I have right, I get to keep in ears range the crazy. I get to know what the temperature is on that shit. So that's why I can speak from like evidential base because I'm talking about a reasonable person who fuck with this nigga. There's unreasonable niggas who fuck with him. So I'm just like a reasonable person who fucks with him. Some of the splits on where shit would be when you bring it in, for instance, like bro, how they turn shit once they find that angle and they spin that bitch. Like the left do it too, man. Just they find that angle on motherfucker and spin that shit. And it's just like, and as long as, and since that's getting clicks and that algorithm is designed to feed that shit, I looked at it this week. You get way more clicks for dragging black men than you do for uplifting.
Yeah.
That's just the
It's a
algorithm.
problem. I don't doubt
Like,
it.
you ain't gonna get no clicks for
Really don't doubt it.
uplifting the brother. Like you make a post right now about a brother who doing good in the community, putting his hard work in, protecting black women, all that shit. Should get 4 likes, nigga. You make the same post about a black man who said he want to play Tory Lanez at a party. That nigga gonna get hate mail.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's where we are with this shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm just like, look, I understand what you saying, Walt, but this shit is it's gone, bro. It's
I
gone,
just,
man.
again, I'm not as nihilistic, but it's just good to know what your enemy is up to.
Well, I mean,
Your
Sun Tzu
opponent.
said that, like, you know your enemy, you know yourself.
Right.
Yeah, they was in Michigan running training sessions for the Civil War. bunch of white people with the AKs out. It was like, you really think this be civil war after this election? And that's what was funny because I was watching the joint, right? And the motherfucker who co-created Facebook, or like no, the dude who he created the business model for it, the one that all the companies currently use.
Yeah.
No, not the Indian nigga. It's the other motherfucker.
The white dude?
The white dude, right? And he's like, what are you afraid of? He said, Civil War.
Right.
He said Civil War. That's the nigga who don't let his kids use no social media. Oh. He was like, nah, they don't get to use none of that shit in my crib. He was like, he fuck with pictures, but he was like, yeah, I used to spend all day working on pictures, and I used to get home and stay on pictures. He said, and I like what all the people who working on this shit was like, yeah, we be working on this shit, and we know what these apps are designed to do, and still be at the crib on these motherfuckers. That shit had me rolling, bro. I was like, damn. But it's like, I guess it's like, I remember I put it on Facebook one time. How can people like know shit is fucked up and still keep doing what they do? You know, this white dude I know, he was like, same motherfucking reason you know that burger killing your ass and you gonna get another one on Thursday. It's like facts.
Because it's delicious.
It is, bro.
Shit to what I'm eating kills me.
That's what I realized, man. It's like, look at Trump, bro. The way he knows how to take the headlines through sensationalism. It's a dopamine really hit. Bro, when I saw that this nigga bust his supporters to Omaha for the rally, but did not provide transportation for these niggas to get back home and left these niggas.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
So where's the bus? What bus?
Bro,
what bus? We got you a bus to get here.
Honestly, it warmed me up inside. Just knowing the fact that he really was like, I don't want to talk to an empty room, bust these niggas in. And nobody on the team was like, yo, how we gonna get him home, sir? They just knew he wouldn't give a fuck.
They're smart people. They're saving money by us busting them so they can afford their
Think about it, bro. You could just had the buses wait.
Or you gotta spin it so you don't feel like a piece of shit.
No, this is it though. I don't think he can. He doesn't have the capacity to feel like a piece of shit.
That's more money, son.
Too costly. The American people have spent so much money. So much money.
And dude's like so old people.
Biden, but goodness.
It's old people got sent to the hospital with hypothermia.
So that
means these niggas was waiting on a bus.
Yeah, they said 7 people got sent to the hospital.
Bro, it's like
7 people got sent.
Bro, you ain't never met a realer nigga than Trump, dog. How we all getting over there? He's like, I get you a bus over there, everything. Niggas never ask, well, how we get home? Oh, that's on y'all, yeah. Niggas will get you to the party. But I'll be dead if you ride back with me, you dirty nigga.
I get you right there, but you on your own.
Trump was like, fuck the niggas.
That's some shit moms would say. Like, I'll drop you off.
Oh man, he probably.
But you must provide your own
transportation home. Find your own way back home.
Oh, you know it's beautiful. They're gonna still vote for this nigga on Tuesday.
Of course.
Oh, God.
That's their boy.
God, I love it, bro.
So my question of the week is, knowing all that we know about the effects that social media has on our psyche, like how has social media positively or negatively influenced the way you feel about yourself?
Are we doing this right now?
Like, yeah, man, I'm on some real like therapist, like, you know what I'm saying, inner workings of your mind type shit. Like,
oh yeah, heal your inner child type shit.
I don't give a fuck about your inner child. I just want to know, how has social media influenced your day-to-day life? Like, we've been at this joint for 10 plus years now, you know what I'm saying? I had Facebook back in like 2007. That's like 13 years ago. You know what I mean?
I'd say I've gotten worse at communicating with people.
Did he say positive effect, nigga?
Positive or negative.
Oh. Well, I mean, look, I think it tried to make me okay with being lazy. What I mean by that is I used to always see those shits on your feed where it'd be like, it say shit like people with higher IQs tend to have messy rooms. So my room dirty as shit. I'm like, well, I guess that means I'm smart. Or they be like, or they say some dumb shit like people who are unorganized tend to be more artistic. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, I'm organized like a motherfucker. I guess I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? Little shit like that. Where it's like, it's so funny because, like, you know, I'm always someone who's fundamentally aware. Like, I've never had I know what's attractive to a woman. I've never been like self-conscious over the fact I'm a big dude because I understand, you know, some big dudes get love out here too. But my thing was, I get Instagram makes me less respectful towards women. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And it is a byproduct of how it functions. It is, and even like, for instance, like the way it cuts off your caption if it's over a sentence. So it's kind of like already like you already don't give a fuck what she's saying anyway. Instagram is like, we know you don't give a fuck what she's really saying. Just look at this ass. I mean, you know, it's like they sell you the illusion that, you know, she's exactly that she's like, you know, she's, and then it's just like a and I was listening to this Reasons Project. He had this line on there. He was like, he said, I'm dating this one chick. She ain't no basic bitch, but we always argue over basic shit. And I was just like, she says she ain't no basic, but we always argue over basic shit. I think for me, like I said, I'm glad. I've always told you guys this. I'm glad we're out of that. Like we was texting in high school. Texting, IG dropped when I was probably like in 11th grade. It was a thing by then. I was already on the way out. So I'm glad I didn't have to deal with like all of that pent up teenage sexual frustration, but also having all the girls in your class posting photos where they look the most prime and prettiest more than they are so in real life because of filters and shit. And so like
angles,
that dichotomy, I would imagine that was another thing they were saying about the youth. Their relationships and the rates at what they date each other is dying down drastically. And I would understand why. It's that, have you guys seen 500 Days of Summer?
Nah.
I haven't actually, but I hear it's a good movie.
It's a great movie. There's a dope sequence in it that's always one of my favorites to this day, but there's a part where, because it's about him dating this girl named Summer and the tumultuous relationship they had together. So one day he gets invited to this house party where she's throwing this house party, right? And he's thinking, yo, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be dashing. I'm going to be witty, and we're going to get back together, right? So as he's arriving at the party, they cut this scene and they put expectations on it, right? They put a title card under him going up the steps, expectations. Then they split screened and put him, and so he went up the stairs to the apartment and goes up the stairs, and then he arrives again in another split screen and it says reality. So it's doing a split screen. The expectation is slightly ahead of the reality. So the expectation where he's acting out is he's up the stairs by the time he's getting out the car in the reality. And then he's on the roof and he's clinking drinks with her. They drinking and they hugging each other. That's expectation. The reality is he's coming up the stairs now and he's coming into the patio and now he sees that she's got a whole other boyfriend in the reality. So it's expectations versus reality. So I can imagine this, right? Mm-hmm. You like this one girl from school, right? And she's always posting. You know, all of her posts, she's got the filter, she got the makeup on, she's doing the whole nine, right? And anytime she comes to school, she got the makeup on. I'm talking maybe you in 10th, 9th, or 11th grade, right? She got the makeup on. Imagine how it must feel to you when you see her without none of that shit on. Like,
you lied to me. You lied to me.
Not even on that level. I just think I don't even think it's that. I don't think it's that egregious. I just think the level of letdown that you might have of your excitement for hollering at her. Where, because I'm looking at why would dating be dropping, and now you got all these apps to date and do all these different things, right? So I'm like, maybe the kids just ain't calling the date no more. Maybe they're just hooking up and doing what they want to do. Because it's also been rising them STDs. We're gonna talk about that. But so I'm looking at like all these different layers to it, and I'm like, okay, so maybe the death of maybe monogamy's dying as a result of the social media shit. I say it might be positive. Who knows? I think you. I don't think everyone deserves monogamy.
I think I gotta elaborate on that.
You say monogamy like it's a punishment.
No. I don't think everyone deserves it. You know what I realized? It's not a punishment. It's a talent.
Okay.
I would treat it like a talent, meaning like I'm in awe and admiration for someone who's been with the same woman for 25 years.
That I can understand.
Truthfully and faithfully.
Same here.
And so when I say everyone doesn't deserve monogamy, I realize everyone doesn't have the skill set for marriage. Everyone doesn't have the personality to be married. And I think what we lie to ourselves in society saying that, and you'll see it because there is a talent and a skill set required to truly grow with another human being throughout the course of your life. Through children, mortgages, foreclosures, whatever's going on, to truly sit there with another person and go through. I seen this picture earlier, this dude that said true love. Yeah. And it had this chick and he was dating with her. And the other picture, she was like 3rd-degree burns all over her body. He was still hugging on her in the same way. But it was just like, he said true love. And she's like a burn victim survivor now. Skin's gone, but he's still with her. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I really thought about this shit. I would probably, I wouldn't want to leave, but I know I'm cheating.
And
there you go.
We back.
That joint jumped out.
It was a lady again.
So that's what I'm saying. So let's say hypothetical, gentlemen. You dating your shorty. She get into a horrible accident. I'm talking about this ain't the same chick you met physically. Mental, everything is still there. Honest to God's truth, hand to the Bible. Not even the Bible, whatever you got. But is you gonna be
Quran, my nigga?
I'm not saying you gonna bounce, but would you be faithful?
I am gonna be 100% honest. I will probably bounce at some point. You know what I'm saying?
The way you built that up was like, of course you will.
Yeah, now look, we say this as we're not deeply in love, and you're not like once you're in there and you're in the feelings, you might be a better person, right? But right now, being a selfish ass nigga I am right now, looking at this photo that I seen on Instagram, I was like, yo, you was a better person than me, bro. And that's what I'm saying. Like, some people we just gotta give it props to. Like, some people, y'all need to be married, and because I do believe all children need 2-parent households. I just think that's the best way to raise a human being. I didn't say, man and woman. I just said 2-parent. Whatever fits into that category, doesn't matter. For me, I just think that's a dyad needs to raise kids. That's what I'll say, a dyad.
Mm-hmm.
2-person
group
needs to raise kids, right? And
hey, nigga, we know what a dyad is.
Yeah, I'm just saying, right? So, raise the kids, right? So, I truly believe that just fundamentally. And I think that to do that well, you have to have a level of skill, man. I just think everyone ain't built for marriage. And it's not like I think it's less people than we like to admit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I'm with that.
Yeah, no, because half the time when we talk about marriage, it's like, oh, everybody says love, but it's not love. It is it's
It's
a business
compromise,
agreement,
bro.
right? It
And
is a
that is, yeah.
business agreement. But what you're talking about, Joel, is love. Because regardless if they were married or not, he's still sticking by her side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that's true love. I mean,
Well, see,
yeah.
it is, but I get it is love, but I realize, man,
I think it's compromise, man.
it's work though.
It's really work.
It
Yeah,
is
love is
work.
work. Like,
100%, 100%.
Mhm.
It is. It really is. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
love is work.
but some people don't have the ability to work at it, and I think that's where we have to admit you were never in love. You were just in lust.
Mm.
You was in
Well, no.
lust for
Oh,
that 5 years. You was married to that nigga. That was it.
there. So this book that I'm reading, there's actually a word for it where humans attach emotional specificity to a person or an item, and it's more so akin to ownership than what we would dream love is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
agree.
it's called cathesis. I can't pronounce it, but it's a yeah. But there's an actual specific term for that.
I don't think I know what you're talking about. But it's
Mm-hmm.
very interesting because I look at some people. You know, some people be like, I just can't be single.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no.
Yeah,
You probably should be single forever.
yeah.
That's those type of motherfuckers who say shit like that. Because I'm like, okay, that means you just need something on your arm.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know, you just need someone to text, someone to bother all day. Like you just need
I
the illusion of a boyfriend or a girlfriend. You just need that. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not the person.
The
It's
the
the title.
allure of having somebody want
it's
you.
it's it's the feeling of some void that you have and that you
Yeah.
feel like
And
another human being has to fill.
exactly, society has told you a title is supposed to fill that. Meaning, someone you put a title. You say this person is that,
Mm.
and that's supposed to fill that void. And that's not really what I think it really is. The real version of it, at least. So that's why I say where I'm like, because I realize everybody can't be porn stars.
No,
It takes real skill and energy, man. You gotta be able to do that shit at an angle. You gotta be able to hold your neck. Like, there's a lot of shit that go into it that
gotta do multiple takes.
nah. I got 2 takes for you. I got 2 takes for you.
This nigga's, hey, then you weren't built for this business, bruh. You weren't
Man,
built for this business. Look, we need to go seven, at least 7.
I know.
Yeah.
They're right. Sometimes I'm like, well, I say, because you know how sometimes you go on websites like Pornhub, they'll split up what's going on in the video. Like it says blowjob, doggy style.
Right, like
Bro,
all
honestly,
that wasn't just one long continuous.
Hell no.
You got cuts in this shit, bruh.
if I was in the scene, depending on the joint I'm in the scene with, bro, I don't get past the blowjob. That's serious. Like, I'm dead serious, bro.
Bro, why is your mic so low?
That's funny. But that's facts though.
I'm say I don't get past that. I'm like, my scene is one of those porn gifs.
That's it. That's it. Look, 30 seconds. That's all we need, bruh. Make it a minute to be a full course meal.
Hey, you know how they got filters? They be like, yo, length 30 seconds to a minute.
40, a minute 23. Oh,
you gonna find all of Joel Boy's collection in that time frame. Oh man, son.
Like all I need is right here.
maybe if I got a rubber one, I can get to the 10-minute joint.
Yeah.
Man, no, that's some tantric shit right there.
Look,
You
that's
10 minutes.
That's not gonna be multiple angles. Though. That's gonna be one position.
That's it.
Because that's what I'm saying. You got to be able to do 3 different positions. That's why I wanted to ask y'all niggas this week. It was funny because I was like, is there any like version of porn that you don't like but is popular?
You mean like category or like
position or what? Is it category or genre? I don't know if it's really category or style because I hate POV.
That is a category.
Or is that style? Because I feel that
I think that's like one that's
shooting
both.
style. Yeah,
like, you know, because
like that's both.
Like border, handheld, steady cam, amateurs, like, you know, tripod in the corner of the room. I'm just saying, like, for instance, I just don't fuck with the POV, you know, perspective based. That shit always has annoyed me.
Me neither. I don't rock with it either, bro. It's not for me.
POV be great, man.
See, I can't.
What the fuck?
POV be great.
Yeah, that's not for me, bro.
Yeah,
You fuck with POV?
I like amateur.
Yeah, I know you.
That's some good shit too.
Amateurs.
Joel already knows, huh?
It's like,
well, I mean, you got POV and amateur though, so like.
But those are to me, those are categories.
Well, most joints online are amateur POV because niggas just got their phone out while he was getting this, like, you know.
Right, like she already in the middle, and then bow, the light come on.
So, for me, it's but now I was just thinking about that earlier because I was like, yo, I don't like that. I don't like when it's one guy, two girls. That's kind of like.
That depends.
Because I'm not gonna lie, this is where my brain goes. My brain be like, because my brain instantly goes like, I can tell which one he like more. I'm like,
and that bothers you?
No. Then I started to feel bad for them.
Yo, Joe is so about equal rights. He was like, hey, fuck her too.
But I feel bad because then the other girl just get like relegated to like, you know, kissing each other, like, you know, because he's smashing
sloppy seconds.
So she doing shit like kissing the girl while she gets smashed, kissing the guy, or like, you know, getting down there, see, like, getting her face next to the joint. I'm just like, you're not doing it. It just
I always thought that was funny.
It's just funny to me because I just be like, yo, she really. I think I saw a sketch where somebody was like, they played that girl, and it was just like how she just in her old head, maybe I should do this, so I should get over.
How do I get some attention?
So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna just like, boom, slide in from the right.
But then I wondered, like, I want to shoot a sketch where it's after they shoot the scene and she confronts the guy, and it's like, how come she was getting all?
Why you don't love me, son?
I just want to know.
So I noticed, Monique was getting a lot of attention.
No, that's it. But he just
wrong with me?
He just like, but then he like, but it's a flip. He tells her, he's like, honestly, I was doing her the most because her joint more dry than you, so it's easier for me to keep going. Your joint was wet, so I knew I would.
Nah, son.
He's just lying. He just lying.
Right, like the.
Telling her, but he's like, yo, he's like, nah. Honestly, it's because your joint too good. If I went with you the scene would be over quicker. So I was in the drum.
Cap.
Right, like
I needed to dap, not
Cap.
I honestly,
he's like, your joint is.
You told a girl you stopped messing with her because her cat was like that, was drippity drip drop.
Drip.
I think she'd take it, honestly.
You know what I'm saying? We're thinking differently. This isn't personal. This is a scene. She took it personally because he wasn't being fair with the distribution.
Right, but you know what? I'm trying to maintain my artistic integrity while I'm recording.
Yeah, and then that's another thing that the cameramans that talk.
I'll be ready to smack that man.
Bro, especially when it's like a white dude. That's the racial scene. He be doing too.
He's saying dumb shit.
He be like, well, showing sure how it does do. I'm just like, nigga, it's not your dick. Shut up.
Right. Like, if you want to shut up and hit that play button.
Her boyfriend is literally in the car waiting for her right now. Like,
she's like, go inside real quick and get the tray.
All right, like, yes, I'm gonna fuck him, but I'm gonna come out with $1,200, so it's gonna be fine.
I'm gonna write that with this chick's like, I'll be right back, and she go and shoot a whole porn scene and go back into the room.
It got to be something like a decent amount of time, like 45 minutes, like okay, like that was long, but that wasn't.
We'll do it where she's going to get out, and it's this guy who agreed to give it to her. But it's because when she told her boyfriend, "Only reason he's gonna give it to me because he thinks I'm gonna do something." I'm not. She's basically playing the fact that dudes accept, right?
Mm.
That's what she's telling her boyfriend. He accepts, so he believes in it.
Mm.
So he pulls up.
Trickery.
But he gets on his phone, so he's gone for 25 minutes. He don't even notice he was just on his phone. So, cause like I talked about that earlier, how that shit happens, like you be scrolling.
Right. Hey, look.
You don't notice it.
4 to 4:30.
So then it's like, but I love it. But I was gonna put it where right before as his girl's leaving the apartment, this account he follows posts, he's like, I got a new video going up on my on OnlyFans with a guest star, and it's his girlfriend with her face blurred out, but she got the same outfit. So
sick.
She got the same outfit on her. And he's like watching her walk to the whip and seeing the outfit, seeing the drink. And it's like on the Instagram page, like posted 2 minutes ago. He's like, we got a guest on the OnlyFans coming up, y'all. It's just like I said, man. Like I said, I just be rolling. I'm watching entirely.
Honestly, the way we talk about Pornhub needs to pay us.
No,
we need some ads or some shit.
If I don't know, like honestly, bro, this is like I just really look at it as like a it's a more I don't think our generation has normalized that shit so much through the OnlyFans and Demon Time and all that shit. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't even think it's like a thing anymore. Like it's very interesting because like I was just saying, like those are just a couple things that I've always hated about porn. The cameraman who won't shut the fuck up.
POV. Trash. I don't like anal.
And when there's too many people doing stuff, like I don't like the orgies, like too many scenes, so many things going on.
Honestly,
I'm kind of cool with that last one.
I like the more intimacy.
This will be the first like hardcore series that's good. Like the acting is decent, the fucking's decent. Like camera work gonna be decent. Like we're gonna hit all the tropes.
I've got some angles that,
bruh,
I'm saying that I know for sure. And it's like I always fuck with a good cameraman because he get them angles. Like a couple of them dudes you shoot them Black series, they know what they doing. Like I said, because that's important. Yeah. Them angles is important. Yo.
That's too HD for me though.
Hey yo, imagine be like, hey yeah, I'm a videographer. What you been doing?
Y'all laughing, but another thing I took away from Social Dilemma was that is the future.
What, porn?
No. You doing something like that. I mean, it's like what we all want to do, pursue arts or like artistic vision or make your own entity and make a living and thriving off of it. He said once, you know what I'm saying, once we're selling you looking at screens. So that's predicated on everybody gonna have a screen you look at one day. Everybody gonna be on the screen one day. So it's like it's trying to figure out how to sell the most shit to the most people. So we saw OnlyFans take off like a rocket ship during the quarantine, along with Demon Time, Anyviz, all them joints, right? So then what I'm looking at is like, okay, we also seen we've seen enough of it now to where I'm like, I totally see one day where someone's gonna be like, yo, okay, I did my OnlyFans for 2 years, built my stock portfolio up through my funds, then shifted to merch that was based on some of my scenes while I was in the OnlyFans. And then it's going to be pretty much now I just sell, my likeness on YouTube with different small brands that, pay me to wear this watch, pay me to wear this shirt, pay me to wear these shoes. And then, I'm just styling out here, and I got it all off my dick game when I was running OnlyFans for 2 years. Like, it's just a come up. And it's like I don't, and no one's gonna be like, oh, I just genuinely think it's gonna be that nigga's story. Like it's gonna be that girl's story. Like it's not gonna be a thing. Like what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for the first female rapper, who starts on OnlyFans.
I'm not even. Yeah, I give that a couple years. I'm really not even. To me, that's damn near Cardi B.
When she comes.
No, but I was thinking about that. I was like, she comes. No, but I genuinely believe that. It's just like, nigga, like, yo, man, how she get her started? Like, yo, man, one day it was some dude that just busted another one. She dropped this freestyle and a OnlyFans video, and that shit went viral.
So the porn niggas gonna be A&Rs now?
I feel like Cardi B and like it's kind of like a precursor to that. You know, maybe she wasn't on OnlyFans, but I mean, she was a stripper,
We
and we
have
knew
seen
her as
Cardi
a.
naked on the internet.
You know what I'm saying?
Before
But
we heard her rap.
this is the thing, though. But I don't know if she didn't get her ends into that industry through sex. You know?
Oh, you're saying like directly through sex work?
Like,
That
no,
is how her music career,
no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I don't, because I was listening to the Reason Project, right? He has a song on there, Fall, which is dope. But he says, he's talking about these female MCs. He says she just want to be a rapper. She want a manager to get behind her who don't want to get behind her.
Yeah.
Then he was like, not giving up your pussy might be your greatest obstacle. You know, he said she want to be a rapper with every follicle, but not giving up that pussy could be your greatest obstacle. Right? So that's just real talk. And he said, he talked about how we don't want to hear shit coming out your mouth without the sex appeal. And he said, Layla just dropped by to give me some wisdom. He's my Rhapsody, but she on this project. And she was talking about, because Rhapsody talks about this, how she literally gets talked down on by other female MCs because she doesn't do that. You know? So, and she said, I got a few stories that would bring tears to y'all. That's what she said. So for me, it's just like, I look at it like, would you be shocked if some dude was like, yo, man, when Cardi first walked into a recording studio, she didn't pay for no time. She wanted to get introduced to the top producers. People was like downplaying her. I'm not gonna be like, if one dude who got a beat off on Playboy Cardi was like, Cardi B was like, yo, is he gonna be in the studio? And then she shows up and she does her Cardi thing, whatever, you know, sexual appeal, Wazzy get to do thinking that he gonna get something, or maybe he does get something. She gets some studio time.
She drug him a little bit.
I mean, I'm not going that far. Criminal act, but I'm just thinking, like, you know, I would be shocked if the first dude who would manage her was like, she came through, she gave me the pussy, so I said, I manage you. I'm like, you know, I ain't take nothing on the cut, but you know, I wouldn't be shocked, and I wouldn't be like, to me, I just don't. That doesn't play into. People would say like, well, how dare you assume that that's how she rose? I'm like, first of all, shut the fuck up, this Cardi. She didn't come out of church. So another part of it is like, I'm not going to be like taken aback or look down on her for that. That's just because that would just make sense to me. I'd be like, this is how she got up in the game. Some dude wanted something from her.
What is it? Not draconian. What was that guy that the Medici?
What?
It's like a very like Medici way to get around things. Like, look, I need to rise up, and I'm gonna do it any way that I can.
Yeah.
Machiavelli.
That's it. Machiavelli.
Machiavelli. I'm not mad at it because, like I said, she did use drug niggas. So it's not like she had. Yeah. It's not like she would have any moral misgivings about doing something like this. So that's the only point I was bringing up. Where I'm just like, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if we found out Cardi, you know, did something a little strange for a couple of beats and some opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be surprised for that shit.
But it's not like we would vilify her, you know, either. It's like, all right, cool, you know.
I think Cardi would be like, okay, fine. She's like, I got my birthday.
She really don't, son.
Yeah.
Like when that news came out that she was out here drugging dudes, like she was just like, I did what I had to do back then. Very Machiavelli.
So
I don't agree with it, but I ain't mad at you.
How many Birkin bags are you guys gonna buy your mom?
Absolutely none.
Wow, Lewis doesn't love his mother. Joel?
Yep.
Well, I love my mother. And that's why I would never get her a Birkin bag. She would.
Wow. So not only does Joel not love his mother, but he lies as well.
But look, like at the end of the day, I just realized that there's some gifts that if I gave my mom, she would literally slap me.
I feel you.
If I paid all that money for that bag, and that's another thing. I was looking at that. That was dumb this week. The fucking Birkin shit. And That's another thing, Sweetie, right? Sweetie, what she said 20 years ago, people would have said, "How dare you, go there?" Right? But
Mm.
now it's just a round of applause.
And I
Who
mean,
was really applauding that?
it goes back to the perception of social media because it's not like everybody can afford a Birkin. It's not like every rich person can afford a Birkin, So
You rich, you probably afford a Birkin. I don't know how much it
no.
costs.
I mean, like there are people out here that maybe they're a millionaire. They made a cool $1 million. They can't buy a Birkin bag.
Birkin's throwaway.
Like they
If you
might be
got
able to buy a
throwaway money,
keychain something, but
nah.
you said
It's,
what?
it's like but I like what Lil Durk said. He said, "I bought her property. She ain't want no Birkin."
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
longevity and shit, man. And that's
Hey,
that's
yo, buy me a house in Atlanta.
I don't want no joint that wants a Birkin, like for me to prove my affection for you.
That
Right?
and I think that's another thing too. The transactional approach to love. Like, if you get this, I will love you.
I
I just think it's a byproduct of the algorithm.
I don't even I don't even believe in anything that's not transactional. I
Mm.
honestly believe everything is transactional.
No, I understand. I completely understand because I'm not
Like,
like too far away from you in that sense. Like
Movie,
there is
dinner,
a transaction for everything.
exactly. Movie, dinner, you hit, you go to Vegas, you pay her, you hit.
But for
I mean, not even physical things, just like, are you giving me enough attention? Like
yeah,
that in itself, like intangible
But they say some people that's
right.
their love language.
transaction.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah.
but for
They
some
like
for
gifts.
others, it's like, hey, if you can't provide me with these specific material items, do not approach me. And then same thing, like if a man can be like, yo, if you don't physically look like this, do not approach me. Like,
Mm.
and so like it's very like it's very transactional or more like capitalistic transactional and how we would approach it. But
Yeah, so basically we're saying like our preferences are commodified right now.
yeah.
They are being washed down, segmented out. That's what I wanted to get to this algorithm thing where I was thinking about because I'm like, that's the
Okay.
biggest thing right now is the algorithm is this. They said human beings are essentially nodes in a huge supercomputer, and the algorithm is opinions and computer programming. Meaning, it's like so it's in a way the forming of a consciousness of a being or entity that will be completely in this metaphysical space of the internet. And once all those nodes are connected properly through enough interconnectivity of a society, that is when you will have the entity fully click on and be operational to dictate not necessarily when Lewis picks his phone up, but when Lewis goes and gets a little tied up. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Like, I'm just saying, just to give an example, right? Just to give an example, but that is what is essentially going to be happening. So then it's going to turn into we want to increase. So then it turns into the dial, right? The dial is very simple to turn up for it, increase users on Facebook, but wait until they can hit the dial for increased birth rates in the Pacific state. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was very easy
Yeah,
for
like
them,
I
it was
mean,
very easy for them to gain control over how they spread Facebook to people. But once they gain control over how they control your functioning as a people, as a collective, as a group, because once all that information gets collected, I think we think there's an infinite potential to human activity. And I think that there's a finite level of potential to our activities because there's a finite amount of activities I can do with my station in life. Well, I can't buy a Birkin bag, nigga. You know
Facts.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that reality, so to me, that's like so, and I think that that's the majority of the people in the country. So the
Yeah.
possibility of
Mm-hmm.
me going to get one is mute for me. So you don't have it. So I'm not,
Right.
since I'm not that rich, my options for what my week will look like are not that much. There's a finite amount of things I can do because of the Wally right now. Now, if you got a billion in the bank, you could be in fucking Barbados one day and Cali the next hour, depending on how fast your jet is.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right. Hey,
that's
yo, gas
a
cheap right now.
possibility. So I can understand if you're like an algorithm, it's going to be very hard to get Elon Musk in a box because he
Right.
could be in space. This nigga could be in Florida fucking with rockets during the pandemic with nobody talking to him about it. Like,
How
but
is he in two places at once?
it's real. It's real easy to get Joel. Just look. You know how to look. All the algorithm got to do is freeze my paycheck, nigga. Freeze that direct deposit for a day, and you will see a nigga stressed the fuck out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your deposit happened on a Saturday and it wasn't processed correctly that Friday, so you're gonna receive it Tuesday morning.
Yep.
I'm just like human. I honestly believe that like people are so very simple. Not to sound Machiavellian or whatever, but like, yeah, like it is not that hard to convince me that like I noticed this about me. Like when I scroll through my feed and see a bunch of like my homies like in relationships and they look all happy on socials. Then I get to thinking, I'm like, dang man, they look so happy. I want to be happy. You know what I'm saying? They look happy. It's cold outside. It's cuffing season. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
should get me a. And then as soon as I log off, I'm just like, nah, bro. I've been there, done that. I'm cool. Like human beings are really not as complex as we make ourselves out to be. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like
Yeah.
even someone like Elon Musk who could be in space like 1 minute and in Cali the next, like he too is another regular nigga, but with a bunch of fucking money. Like it could be very easy to get him to vote for someone like
We can
Trump because he's worried about his taxes. Like just
we
feed
can
him with
all be
how
influenced.
motherfuckers want his taxes. Like it's just
Yeah.
yeah, we could all be easily
Want to turn
influenced.
50 cent into 20 cent.
Hey,
Yeah, there you
facts
go.
on the dollar.
Yeah. But I mean, but that's what I was saying. That's why I'm like, I don't think this is by I think they it's over. So like I said, we really not that difficult, bro. It's really not that hard to like because it's like, look, you hit me at the right time in the right mood, for instance, right? Send me a week of those visuals, like we just said. All your niggas cuffed up. Somebody got a baby on the way. You looking like, damn,
Yep.
I was in high school and he got kids already. And
Yep.
he married, they got a house. Yo, his wedding was dope. I was at that joint. My boy glowing up. I see his wife. Yo, I got this one joint over here. I can maybe get and it's just the right time, right? It's okay, now it comes into play. You see those things growing, you got options on the table. So it's not really going to pull at them like that. You know what I'm saying? But let a couple of the options fall out the way. Maybe you have a bad day. Maybe something happened with the family. Maybe there's some other emotional chord that's been struck through social media. You see a couple of them scroll them same photos 7 days later. It's even colder outside. You might be saying to yourself, let me give her a call and try to get back with that joint. Be that nigga. Like, I'm just saying though, this is what the algorithms want.
Sound like facts.
Yo, don't be too happy, Lou.
But this is what the
Nah, but it really is that just that simple.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what the algorithm wants. It wants to know how to get that. And once it has it, so then it's like right now, Tinder is asking Instagram, how do we get Joel on Tinder? How do we get Joel on Tinder? And that's what it wants to do. That's what it wants to do. It wants to get Joel on Tinder. But it has me as user 807478931. Like, and it's like in 87043, there are currently 20,000 accounts in the same area that operate the same way, same user percentage for the day. We want to get if we send into this talent pool, Okay, let's send seven. Boom, boom, boom. Let's do this 7 times. Let's do this to all these 20,000 accounts. Out of those 20,000 accounts, the 1,000 ended up on tender within the week, right? They just kept flooding. They kept hitting. They kept hitting. They kept doing different things to get it into the algorithm. So out of those 20,000, they got 2,000 people converted successfully. Sell the metrics. They sell the module. They completed that task. They got I guess what was that, 20% success rate. There's 1,000 people out of 20,000. It's 20% success rate, right? So no, my bad. 2% success rate. So they're like,
I said yeah because I wasn't
It's
doing
like,
math.
wait.
that's 5% success rate. So 5% success rate, right? They're like, yo, we got 5% success rate. We're good, right? And then so boom, they're like, now let's take that model and work its success rate up to 90. And then once we get it to 90, we'll figure out what that is on tenders. You know what I'm saying? Then it's like I wrote a whole series about this called Into the Future actually. But it's funny because I'm like, this actually got me so inspired, man. Because I'm like, everything I thought about the future is definitely going to be the case. This just kind of cemented it in a real concrete way. Because like I said, man, I'm talking with my coworkers now. A lot of them, they're never going back to the brick and mortar. They're fine working from home. They've
That's
it
what's
was
up.
it was nothing but
That's
for
a lot
some
of
people to
people.
get used to. They've gotten used to it. So that's constant screens proximity. That was another thing about the documentary I didn't like. When he didn't have his phone, I was like, this nigga ain't got no laptop, YouTube, video games. He was just sitting in his room on his bed. I was like, no kid just sitting in his fucking room. He gonna grab
Right.
his
That's it.
laptop and start playing video games or some shit.
Go do something. Right.
Yeah, motherfucker act like
Nigga
all
ain't had
he
no
had was a
books.
phone. I was like, you don't stop lying. This white kid in his big ass house, he got laptop, phone, tablet,
Right. That big ass room of
PS4,
his.
Xbox. Hell
Shit.
Got
yeah.
an iPad.
Yeah,
Right. Like
man.
some shit.
Stop lying.
Um. But
That's
to
funny.
change gears a little bit, there was
Really
a
talked about this social dilemma for like 2 hours. That's
right. So
I just weaved it in and out.
well,
another article that I saw this week, I was really happy for. There's a Nigerian playwright. His name is Wole Soyinka, and he's gonna be writing his third book,
It's
and
a dope name.
it's his first book in 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called the the Chronicles of the Happiest People on Earth. So it comes out in December in Nigeria, and then I want to say first quarter next year internationally. But yeah, he's a famous playwright, author. He's what in his almost 90 now. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
dang.
but yeah, really,
Quarantine
really,
dried that money up, huh?
yeah.
Had to come out of
uh,
retirement.
Hey, look, because I had this one book in the cut. I didn't want to have to hit you with it.
right, man. He said
The
during
way
this
my bank
pandemic,
account going.
he
Hey,
would
man,
wake
nope.
up. He said he would eat, then he would write, go back to sleep, and he said he did that for 50 days.
I believe it.
And at the yeah, he said at the end
He's
of it,
like,
he had his
ain't no
book.
plays going on right now.
Right. But that's another thing too. He said after writing that much, he said he wanted to do something completely away from writing, and there's going to be a performance of one of his plays going up in Nigeria in December.
That's what's up.
So I forget, yeah, I forget the
Look,
name of it,
what
but
part?
yeah,
Okay, that's what's up.
yeah,
Like I
man.
said,
Nigeria.
man, everybody's pain game and been doing different things. We can still wrap this up, but I've been oh, like I said, it was just an interesting doc, man, because I just think it was just, I wouldn't say informative. It was just concrete proof of
Mm,
what, if you can discern it, or if you saw it already, or if you've already seen the inklings of it, or read articles about it, or kind of know of the situation a little bit. This one was just a sign. It's a dilemma. The title was
yeah.
not
It
hype.
truly is a dilemma.
It is a dilemma that
Yeah.
few people fully grasp the severity of, and the implications of, if you don't get into some type of agreement with the people who hold the keys to this thing. And
Mm,
that's that's what I mean when I say Andrew. We missed it on Andrew because he would have been the person to negotiate our America's contract with its tech properly. We don't have a good contract with it right now. You know, it's the Trump Platinum plan. Bunch of bullshit, and we paying for
Bruh,
it.
ain't nothing platinum work. Look, no platinum card. They don't try to sell me. No platinum rings. They don't try to sell
I've
me.
never
No
even heard of
platinum
this platinum
plan.
plan.
But that's my
I've never
that's
heard
what I love
about
about
this.
it so
Platinum
much.
plan.
Trump named it the Platinum Plan because niggas like platinum.
Just so you can.
Sound
Right,
like a
right,
90s P. Diddy
right.
album.
Like,
Bro,
like you really trying to get that? Oh no, it's not the gold plan.
It's
the
that platinum plan.
Yeah, who
Like,
got that alliteration going.
Look, Weezy believes.
You saying this nigga Weezy took a hit and was like, oh shit, the platinum plan?
Platinum.
Like
Weezy. Weezy P, baby, and the P stand for platinum.
Hey. No, this nigga he say the Weezy F baby, the F stand for platinum. Like what?
Oh man, the nigga Weezy F baby.
The F stand for negotiate.
The F stand for phenomenal. It's the
Phenomenal.
same dude, bro.
I just didn't like it because I was like, first of all, no way, why jump out here just so you could give all these people saying black men ain't shit, just like because now it's just a whole thing.
That's the problem. Like it's like, oh, black men ain't shit, and like, no, we are, and then like a really famous black man is like, I ain't shit.
But this is the thing. That's why I say, man, I think that the algorithm wants to sow those seeds of discord between us.
Oh my god, wait. If this is a horror movie, are we first executed? Is this the beginning of the movie? They just trying to X out all the brothers?
Yeah, you ain't know that, nigga. That's what I've been saying since we
No, wait, how long is this movie? How long?
The climax is next Tuesday. I'm just saying,
How
bro.
long is this movie? God damn.
Yeah, bro. Come on, say you think they was gonna kill us first, bro? They have to get rid of us first.
This shit. I mean, of course.
That is standard horror movie plot.
Hey, yo,
bro,
wait. How come we don't talk about Night of the Living Dead enough?
Made a whole short film dedicated to that motherfucker. What you talking about?
You said what?
Yeah, no, like I know Dead Cells, but it's like shit. Like I mean, in general.
Not important. Like, look, because it's impactful and it meant a lot toward American cinema. Talked about social and economic, political, and racial tensions in America. Of course, we can't talk about that movie. Walt. It's got too many gems in it, nigga.
Hey,
yeah, talk about
the black man said, "Get in this house and shut up."
That's what I'm interested in. When the algorithm figures out how to properly monetize radicalism. Because don't forget, in Black Mirror, they did it. Remember the homeboy with the speech, Daniel Kaluuya? He made the whole, this system is, and then next thing you notice, that nigga was making daily videos with the knife to his neck, like he was going to kill it for real.
Right.
But he had this nice little.
Isn't that more like a more pathetic version of like a Sean King, like Daniel Kaluuya in that skit? Except like Sean King really be living that, I'd like to assume.
Well, that's the thing about it. It's like, what I mean by properly monetize is like, I think Cap Nike deal is more close to what I'm thinking. You know, and it's like, and I'm not begrudging him for it because I think that's just what that's just going to happen to anything that's popular. It's going to get capitalism right up its ass. So as soon as try and get black people out of this joint, it becomes popular. It's going to become popular. I just don't want white people to profit off of them. Us ending the oppression. I just don't want them to profit from us working to end them profiting off us. That's all. As long as black people come up from this commodification of the struggle, then I'm fine with it. Because white people have always historically successful.
They got Kendall Jenner.
You don't want white people to charge us for them not being racist no more.
Exactly.
They got Kendall Jenner passing out Pepsi to end systematic oppression of police. brutality.
She ain't said a damn
Kendall
thing.
Yeah, we there, son.
Gender is going to hand it to an
Yeah.
ambiguous gender officer.
Ha.
You say English gender?
No, ambiguous gender.
Oh yeah.
What gender is Kendall? Or not ambiguous gender? Ambiguous race.
You
There
mean
it is.
racially ambiguous? I knew what you meant. I'm with you.
Ah, man, I'm tired.
Racially ambiguous nigga.
Genderly ambiguous. I was like, what? We only got like
using a lot of pronouns, my guy.
Like, shit, we got more than 2 out here, Lou. That's facts, nigga. We got like 60 genders, nigga.
Oh my bad, I ain't know.
It really just personality traits.
This morning it felt like a paper plate.
But now, like I said,
are we feeling flat and terrible? Yeah.
Paper plate. Flat and permeable, nigga.
Permeable.
Some wet on that motherfucker.
Be soaked through shit.
Hell yeah. But now, like, let's go ahead and wrap it up, y'all.
Yeah, man.
So all right, this
good feeling episode.
Yeah, this is pretty good. It's pretty good. I wish we had watched the movie, Lou, but
I'm living the movie, son. We living in this joint.
Yeah, we living in this joint for sure.
Very mall response.
That's one thing I did like about it, how it opened like a whodunit movie. Yeah. Everybody was in the room. They was like, I'm nervous to be here right now. It's like, I don't know if I should be talking about this. I was like, one nigga was like, I was calling my lawyers for months before I did this. I was like, damn.
Right. I was like, damn, these niggas shook. He's like, really shook.
That nigga said, we knew we was doing it. We did it anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, all right. So this has been the TWEOM podcast. I've been your host, Joel Morris.
It's your favorite host, Louis the 15th.
And it's your other host, Walt Reed.
Peace. Thank you for listening.
Deuces.
Big deuces.